Imagine walking into your favorite casino, past the neon lights and the intoxicating scent of a fresh jackpot. You see a machine that looks like a gold mine. It's flashy, it's loud, and there's a line of people waiting to play. But what if I told you that a retired slot technician, the guy who spent 20 years inside those machines, wouldn't touch that seat even if you paid him? Today, we're going behind the curtain. I've spent the last month interviewing former casino employees, floor managers, and technicians to find out which machines are engineered to be bankroll eaters. We aren't just talking about bad luck. We're talking about placement strategy, hold percentages, and the psychological traps designed to keep you pressing spin until your wallet is empty. I walked onto the floor with a specific plan to test these insider warnings. And what I discovered about the most popular Buffalo and themed slots will change the way you look at the casino floor forever. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which seats to skip to keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket. 1. The entrance trap psychology. When you first step onto the casino floor, your senses are immediately overwhelmed. It's not an accident. There's a specific row of machines right by the entrance, usually the newest, flashiest license titles like Wheel of Fortune or the latest Buffalo variants. Most players think this is where the action is, but ex-floor managers call this the honeymoon phase. These machines are the billboards of the casino. They are designed to grab your attention and your first $20 bill before you've even had time to find the bathroom. The secret? These entrance traps often have some of the highest hold percentages on the entire floor. Because the foot traffic is so high, the casino doesn't need these machines to be loose to keep them occupied. They rely on the constant stream of new arrivals. I watched a dozen players cycle through a row of Buffalo Link machines near the front door. Not a single one hit a bonus over $20. The machines were doing exactly what they were designed to do. Look profitable while quietly draining the first-timer's budget. Never play the first machine you see. Walk at least 100 feet into the heart of the casino, away from the main entrance and the high-traffic walkways. The deeper you go, the more the hold percentages tend to normalize. 2. The Hollywood tax. One of the biggest secrets ex-casino workers share involves the machines featuring your favorite movies, TV shows, or pop stars. Whether it's Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, or a flashy new Buffalo variant tied to a celebrity, these are often the worst machines for your bankroll. Why? Because of the licensing tax. The casino and the manufacturer have to pay massive royalties to use those famous names and faces. To cover those costs and still make a profit, the return to player (RTP) percentage is often set lower than a generic in-house machine. A former floor manager told me that these machines are spectacle units. They redesigned with cinema-quality graphics and vibrating seats to give you an experience rather than a win. You're paying for the entertainment, not the payout. I once watched a player sink $300 into a Buffalo Gold licensed cabinet. They had a blast watching the animations, but the machine's hold was so tight they never saw a single bonus. The generic machines sitting in the shadows? They don't have to pay Hollywood, so they can afford to be a little more generous. If the machine looks like a movie poster, proceed with caution. Stick to original casino titles that don't rely on expensive branding to attract players. 3. The progressive illusion. We've all seen those massive, million-dollar jackpots ticking away at the top of a bank of machines. It's hard not to be tempted by a life-changing score. But ex-technicians warn that those wide-area progressives are the ultimate bankroll eaters. Every time you spin, a portion of your bet is taxed to fund that giant jackpot. This means the base game, the regular spins you rely on to keep playing, has a much lower hit frequency. I spoke with a retired slot tech who explained it simply. You're essentially paying for a lottery ticket with every spin. If the jackpot is $10 million, the machine has to be incredibly tight to make up for that eventual payout. On a $5 bet, you might only be getting a fair return on $3.50 of it, while the rest vanishes into the jackpot pool. In my tests, the progressive Buffalo machines were the first to eat my $25 budget, often without a single line hit to keep me going. Look for standalone progressives rather than wide-area ones. Standalone jackpots stay within that specific machine and generally offer a better base game return. 4. The hidden penny slot truth. The term penny slot is the most successful marketing lie in casino history. Ex-employees call these the hidden high-limit games. While the denomination says 1 cent, the minimum bet to actually activate all the lines and be eligible for bonuses is often $0.80, $1.50, or even $3. Because the denomination is low, the casino is legally allowed to set the RTP much lower than a $1.00 or $5.00 machine. In most jurisdictions, a $5 machine might be set to return 95%, while a penny machine is set to 88%. Over a few hours of play, that 7% difference is the difference between going home early and hitting a massive bonus. I tracked my $25 budget on a 1-cent Buffalo machine versus a 5-cent version. Even though I was betting the same total amount, the 5-cent machine's line hits were significantly more frequent. The penny version was a slow-motion drain on my wallet. Check the minimum bet to cover all lines. If it's over $1, consider moving to a higher denomination machine where the payback is mathematically higher. 5. The vulture strategy and the myth of due. You've seen them. The players who linger behind someone, waiting for them to leave a machine. They think the machine is due for a hit because it isn't paid out in hours. Ex-casino workers call these vultures, and they'll be the first to tell you that the strategy is based on a total myth. Modern slots use a random number generator, RNG, that cycles thousands of combinations per second. A former security guard told me he's watched people lose thousands waiting for a due machine, only for the next person to sit down and lose even more. The machine doesn't have a memory. It doesn't care that the last person spent $500 without a win. Your odds on the very next spin are exactly the same as they were 3 hours ago. I tested this by playing a machine right after a heavy loser walked away. My $25 was gone in 6 minutes. The machine wasn't due. It was just doing its job. Never choose a machine based on how long it's been since a jackpot. Choose based on RTP, volatility, and your own budget. 6. The visual tease trap. Have you ever had 2 bonus symbols land, and the third reel spins and spins, accompanied by dramatic music, only to miss? Ex-designers call this near-miss programming. It's a psychological trick designed to trigger a dopamine rush, making your brain think you almost won. In reality, the RNG decided the outcome the millisecond you hit spin. That long, dramatic pause is just theater. Casino workers see this all the time, players getting excited because they nearly hit the big one. This trick keeps you in the seat longer because you feel like the win is right around the corner. During my Buffalo tests, I counted 14 near-miss bonus triggers in just 20 minutes. It felt like I was close, but my bankroll was still dropping towards zero. The machine was teasing me to keep me invested. Ignore the near-miss animations. They are entertainment, not an indicator of a future win. If a machine teases you 10 times without delivering, it's time to move on. 7. The restroom and buffet path. Location is everything. Floor managers have a specific strategy for placing tight machines. They put them in high-traffic areas where people are already distracted. Think of the walkways leading to the buffet, the restrooms, or the elevators. These are transit zones. The casino knows you aren't there for a marathon session. You're just killing 5 minutes while waiting for your table. They place machines with low RTP in these spots because they don't need to build a relationship with the player. They just want that quick $20. I spent $25 on a Buffalo machine right outside the main restaurant. I didn't get a single win over $2. 10 minutes later, I moved to a machine tucked away in a quiet corner of the floor, one that required effort to find, and my $25 lasted twice as long. Avoid transit zone machines. If people are constantly walking past you to get somewhere else, you're likely sitting at a tight machine designed for quick turnover. 8. Multi-game unit deception. The machines that let you choose between 50 different games, poker, keno, and slots all in one, are a convenience for the player but a goldmine for the casino. Ex-employees refer to these as efficiency cabinets. Because they offer so much variety, the payback percentages are often set to the lowest common denominator. If you're playing a Buffalo slot on a multi-game unit, you're often getting a worse deal than if you played Buffalo on its own dedicated cabinet. The convenience tax is real. I've noticed that the bonus features on these multi-units often feel watered down. During my testing, the multi-game Buffalo was the most glitchy and least rewarding. It's like eating at a buffet. You get a lot of options, but none of them are as good as a dedicated steakhouse. If you want to play a specific game, find the dedicated machine for it. Avoid the all-in-one units if you want the best possible odds. 9. The stop the reels illusion. Almost every modern slot has a button that lets you stop the reels early. Many players believe this gives them control over the outcome, that if their timing is perfect, they can hit the bonus. Ex-technicians will tell you the truth. That button is a speed-up feature, nothing more. The moment you hit spin, the RNG has already determined the result. Stopping the reels just makes the animation end faster. The only thing stopping the reels actually does is allow you to play more hands per hour. For the casino, this is a win-win. If the house has a 10% edge, they want you to spin as fast as possible. By controlling the reels, you're actually just losing your money faster. I tried skill stopping on several Buffalo machines. I didn't win more. I just ran through my $25 in record time. Let the reels spin. Speeding up the game only increases your hourly loss rate. Take your time, enjoy the animations, and keep your bankroll alive longer. 10. The host insight, tracking your play. I spoke with a former VIP host who revealed how the back end of the floor works. They have heat maps that show which machines are being played and how much they are paying out in real time. But here's the kicker. They also track how you play. If you're a loyalist who sits at the same machine for hours, the casino has less incentive to make that machine loose. They know they already have you. The best machines, the ones designed to convert a casual walker into a regular, are often placed in visible areas but not necessarily where the regulars hang out. During my test, the machines in the regulars' corner were remarkably stingy. The casino knows those players aren't leaving. The new Buffalo cabinets near the high-end lounge, however, seem to be tuned for a slightly better first impression. Don't be a creature of habit. If a machine isn't paying, move. The casino rewards new play more than stagnant play. 11. ATM and cage proximity. There is a specific psychological reason why the machines near the ATM or the cashier cage are often the most volatile. Ex-floor workers call this the emergency spin zone. When a player has just withdrawn more cash, they are often in a state of chasing. They want a big win now to make up for what they just lost. The machines in these areas are often high-volatility bankroll killers. They offer the chance of a huge win, which is exactly what a desperate player is looking for, but they have very long, dry spells. I tested a Buffalo machine 20 feet from the main ATM. I hit 3 T's, bonuses, but ultimately lost my $25 without a single payout over $5.00. It's a trap for the tilted player. Never play the first machine you see after hitting the ATM. Take a walk, clear your head, and find a machine in a lower stress area of the floor. 12. The roundabout trap. Look at the floor layout. You'll see carousels, circular banks of machines. Ex-floor designers reveal that the machines facing the main aisle are often set differently than the ones facing the inside of the circle. The ones facing the aisle are meant to catch people walking by, while the inside machines are for people who have already committed to sitting down. Interestingly, the inside machines can sometimes be tighter because the player feels cocooned and comfortable. They aren't looking around, they're focused on the screen. I tested 2 identical Buffalo machines in a carousel, one facing the walkway, one facing the center. The walkway machine gave me a bonus within $10. The center machine? Total silence. If you're playing in a carousel, choose the machine that has the most visibility to people walking by. Casinos want passers-by to see people winning. 13. The one Buffalo that paid. After testing 10 different Buffalo machines, from the flashy licensed versions to the progressive giants, only one consistently gave me a bonus and kept my $25 alive. It wasn't the 4K screen link version, and it wasn't the one with the giant spinning wheel. It was the classic original Buffalo in the vintage section of the floor. Ex-workers call these the survivor machines. These older cabinets have stayed on the floor for a decade because they are fair. They don't have the high overhead of movie licenses or massive jackpots. They rely on a solid, middle-of-the-road volatility that keeps players in their seats for hours. While the newer machines were designed to take my money quickly, the classic Buffalo gave me 2 bonuses and a 45-minute session on just $25. It's the insider's choice, for a reason. Don't be afraid of the old machines. They often have the most stable math and the best hit frequency because they aren't trying to dazzle you with expensive graphics. 14. The smart player's mindset. almost equals 200 words. At the end of the day, the casino is a business, and every machine on the floor is designed to eventually make money for the house. But as we've seen, not all machines are created equal. By understanding the psychology of placement, the hidden taxes on licensed themes, and the reality of RNG, you can significantly extend your playtime and give yourself a better chance to walk away with a win. The biggest takeaway from the ex-workers I spoke with? The smartest player is the one who treats the casino as entertainment, not a job. They set a budget, they avoid the traps, and they know when to walk away. Use these tips on your next trip, and remember, the house always has an edge, but you have the power to choose where you sit. Play smart, stay disciplined, and I'll see you at the next spin.